Hey lovers, welcome to Metaphysical Mondays. Today's video is pre-recorded because I have some other things that I need to attend to, so I do apologize if you were coming on and expecting to see a live here. So today I want to talk to you about the liver and anger and waking up at 3 a.m. Now, if you are someone that at times wakes up at 3 a.m. and gets up to go to the toilet or starts having rushing thoughts, it could be because your liver is in an overactive state. Okay, so in kinesiology, that is what we believe. And so often we get woken up by the organ that is full. So you know how I talk about your cup being full, and it's really important to empty out your cup, and because you create space and it makes you feel better. It's really important to understand how your organs are trying to communicate with you and what it is that you actually need to do to help it balance out, help your organs become aligned. Now, in kinesiology, we have a chart that we look at, and it has all of the different elements, right? So it has fire, earth, metal, water, and wood, and it also has the organs. And when we're muscle testing, we're looking for the emotions that are stored in those organs. And so I want to tell you a little bit about what's in the liver, okay? Now, the main thing that I talk about in the liver is anger, suppressed anger, okay? Now, suppressed anger is really, really toxic to our body and our organs and our emotional self as well. And as you get older, if you don't release the anger, the suppressed anger, what happens is it begins to affect your nervous system and your immune system in a really, really powerful way, but in a negative way. Now, every wound and experience and trauma is stored in the nervous system and the body, and then the emotions are stored throughout our organs, okay? So it's really important that you tap in and you start understanding how your body's trying to communicate with you. Now, anger can weaken your immune system, right? Now, and I'll explain a little bit about how that happens, right? Excuse me while I blow my nose. So, anger, you got to think of anger as red, right? You know how we have the color red, but we also, red can be passion too. But we're going to look at red and how it affects the body, okay? Now, if you think of fire, red fire, heat, when you think of anger, I want you to think of it like that, like literally the term your blood is boiling. That's exactly what's happening inside of your body. Your blood is boiling. So if you have suppressed anger, when someone triggers you or something triggers you, that anger becomes activated, gets triggered and activated in the body, and it's that anger, it kind of starts to boil your blood. It goes whoosh, up here. It sends kind of negative sparks through your immune system. Now what happens is everything becomes, I want you to think of it as if everything becomes inflamed. And you may break out in a rash. You might get a red neck or a red chest. There's people who get red all over the chest. If that's you, that could be suppressed anger. So it's really important for you to tap into that, okay? So notice what you're thinking as I'm saying this. You might get swollen eyes or swollen feet or inflamed, you might get an inflamed throat. Like it could manifest in any way throughout your body, but only you know, right? You know what I'm talking about if this is really resonating with you. So, other things that are in the liver and this is the chart. This is the chart we use in kinesiology, are rage, wrath, distress, vengefulness, resentment, unhappiness, irritability, hostility, bitterness, blaming, right? And there's some positive stuff in there too, but we're talking about the negative stuff today. It's okay if you've felt vengefulness at some stage. It's okay. Anything you feel is okay. What's not okay is how you behave, if you're behaving in a negative way. Because that vengefulness, even if it feels present to you in any given moment, it probably comes from childhood. It probably comes from a time where you're a little boy or you're a little girl and you experienced something and you didn't have the tools to deal with your emotions, and you felt that vengefulness, you felt that rage, you felt that anger, right? And because nobody teaches us how to regulate ourselves and regulate our emotions, what happens is we hold on to it, and then that creates a wound, and it becomes reactivated every time we get triggered, right? Now, anger in the liver over time can manifest into something more serious. So that's why it's really important that you work through your emotions, that you empty out your cup, that you're constantly clearing anger, guilt, resentment. What else we've got? Rage, like these heavy emotions, depression, right? Regret. Like, it's really important because these emotions, not only do they do so much internal damage to our organs and our body, they make us look physically old too, right? And the more you empty out your cup, the more physically beautiful you'll become. Like, that's just how it works. Yeah, you look less haggard and old and run down. So let's talk a little bit about anger and what you can do to support yourself here, right? Now, if you haven't watched my webinar on anger, understanding anger, it is in my it's in the videos on YouTube, so you can go ahead and watch that. It goes for about an hour, I think, and there's some steps that I take you through to help you understand your anger and where it's coming from. So I really highly recommend that. If you haven't watched that and you're like really resonating with everything I'm talking about right now, jump in and watch the webinar and go through the process, because everything that I talk about on this channel and in my work is to help you understand yourself better. Because when you understand yourself better, you start making better choices. Yeah, you're like, no, if I actually do that, which is something I don't want to do, it's going to lead me to feeling more angry later. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to choose to not do that. And even though it's uncomfortable for me to say no to that person, I'm choosing me, because I don't want the anger in my body. I don't want that trigger being activated again. I don't want that wound, being pulled open when I'm doing all this work to heal it. So I'm going to say yes to this, and I'm going to say no to that, and I'm going to continue saying no to that, because I need to clear this anger out of my system. Yeah? Really important. Really, really important. Creating awareness helps you create change. And without awareness, you cannot change anything. That's why I say go in, do the work. Dig deep, find the answers. Why am I angry? Where did this come from? And I do all of that in the webinar, guys. So if you're interested, go watch the webinar, right? But let's talk about what you can do right now. If you don't have time to go watch the webinar now, let's talk about what you can do right now to release some anger really quickly from your body. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you to get a piece of paper and a pen, and I want you to start writing. Now, what writing does, not typing, writing. What writing does is it helps to remove the energy from the body, because you're writing. Now, as you're writing and you're going, wow, I'm really angry at this person because they did this to me, and I'm angry at myself because I allowed that person to do this to me, and you start emptying out your cup. And you start noticing more things that you're angry about. And your psyche starts saying, yeah, and this, and it starts showing you more. And before you know it, you've written pages and pages and you've released and released layers of anger, okay? Now, once you've done that, once you've done that, then you show yourself forgiveness. You don't have to show the other person forgiveness, but show yourself forgiveness. And, Anthea, I forgive you for allowing this person to manipulate you in this way, to take advantage of you in this way, to betray you in whatever it is, right? I forgive you. Because what happens is if we're angry at ourselves, and it's stuff from the past, which often it is, then what we do is we repetitively beat ourselves up over and over again, thinking about the same thing over and over again, and we're doing a lot of damage to our emotional body. So not only have we got this suppressed anger and these wounds affecting our nervous system, stored in our nervous system, we then continuously beat ourselves up by reliving it daily, by thinking of the past and going, well, if I'd done that differently or I'd done this differently, right? So it's really important that you show yourself forgiveness too. Yeah? Now, once you've done that, once you've written your letter, once you've written out everything you're angry about, I want you to go outside and I want you to burn it. The power of ritual and fire is, it transmutes the energy, and that's what we want to do. We want to transmute it. We don't want to hold on to these things. We don't want to hold on to the energy. So you go outside, you find a safe place to burn it, and as you're burning it, you set a powerful intention and that you're releasing it, that you're choosing to let this go in this moment. And that may be really difficult, even though the anger isn't serving me. I kind of don't want to let it go because I know how to be this person who's angry, right? But I want you to choose to let it go. It's a choice. You can hold on to it and you can allow it to continue to affect your physical body and your emotional body, or you can choose to release it and you can choose change and you can choose to start moving forward to a more empowered way of being. Now, you may need to do this 10 times, 20 times. Just keep doing it. Keep clearing it. Keep releasing it. Yeah? Other people may show up that you thought you didn't even think you were angry about, but it's been suppressed and buried so deep after years and years and years of things that you're like, oh my God, I didn't even realize that I was angry at that person. Start writing. Release it. You don't have to contact anyone if you don't want to. But what you do have to do is you have to release the anger. So what happened to you, especially when you were little, may not have been your fault, and it may have changed your life in such a powerful way. But if you still choose to hold on to that anger, that's you're actually doing yourself a disservice. So what happened to you is not your responsibility, but how you choose to heal and how you choose to live now, that's your responsibility. It's your responsibility to heal from what broke you, what made you angry, because it's going to set you free. It's got nothing to do with the other person, right? So I highly recommend that you do this if you are feeling anger. And please reach out if you need any extra support. And if this video has helped you and you have found it powerful, let me know. Drop me a comment below, right? And I'm sending you so much love. Have a beautiful day.